We live as if our hearts are endless, as if we can keep falling, breaking, and starting over. But we don't get a yearly reset. There is only one heart for a lifetime. Every choice we make either protects it or scars it forever. Each disappointment leaves a mark that never fully heals. Today, an almost forgotten Persian poet whispers a warning across centuries. A reminder that the heart that we carry right now is the only one we'll ever have. Hi, I'm Messi, reviving ancient Persian wisdom to enrich our modern lives. On this channel, we dive deep into timeless literature and poetry from Persia and uncover life lessons that apply directly to our modern lives, relationships, personal growth, and works. In this video, we will explore a short but profound poem by Persian poet Asir from the 6th century. He saw through illusions long before the age of social media. His short poem, with only 4 lines, reads like a lifetime of wisdom condensed into a heartbeat. Each word carries a lesson about desire, heartbreak, and the finite nature of our emotional energy. With that in mind, let's hear the words of the poet himself. Listen closely, each word is deliberate. A year the mud has spurred my wandering feet. No rose-red vision makes my heart beat sweet. My heart paid dearly for idols it adored. I don't own a new heart each year to be floored. Asir's imagery is simple but powerful. Mud symbolizes stagnation and getting stuck. Roses represent fleeting temptations and desires, and idols stand for overvalued pursuits and people. And the last line is a reminder. Our hearts are not endlessly replaceable. We only get one heart, and that one heart deserves a careful protection. But Asir isn't just painting pretty symbols. Each of these images hides a lesson about the way we live, love, and sometimes lose ourselves. Let's peel back the layers of his words and see what they reveal. Truth about freedom, desire, and the quiet duty of guarding our one irreplaceable heart. Asir wrote, "A year the mud has spurred my wandering feet." Mud is that heavy, sticky earth that clings to our shoes and slows every step. Asir is saying, for a whole year, I've managed to keep moving without getting stuck in life's wet, heavy traps. Think about the time that you've felt it. The job that quietly drains you. The relationship that feels like walking through sludge. Every habit and situation that keeps you from moving forward. That's the mud. Mud traps us in a toxic workplace for years, afraid to leave. Or in a relationship that keeps repeating the same arguments, leaving both parties exhausted. Freedom from stagnation is choosing movement over being stuck, physically, mentally, or emotionally. It's about keeping your life flowing rather than trapped in repetitive patterns. So why do we let the mud trap us in the first place? Often it's fear, the fear of uncertainty. We'd rather stay in the mess we know than risk stepping into the unknown. Sometimes it's people-pleasing, the habit of saying yes to everyone else's needs until our own life grinds to a halt. And for some, it's deeper, past wounds, guilt, or even trauma that whispers, "You don't deserve better. You don't deserve to leave." But staying stuck has a cost. The longer we stand in the mud, the heavier we feel. Our energy drains, our motivation fades, and even our confidence erodes. Repeated exposure to toxic environments lets chronic stress to creep in and anxiety to become our background music. The opportunities that could have brought growth, new connections, and joy quietly slip past. What starts as hesitation soon hardens into a life half lived. Let's see what we can do to avoid getting stuck in the mud. Every Sunday or any day that you prefer, pause and ask yourself, where did I feel stuck this week? Where did I move freely? Writing it down turns vague unease into something you can see and address. If a job, habit, or relationship is weighing you down, take one small step back. Delegate a task. Skip a meeting that adds no value. Spend one evening in a new environment. Say no to people, habits, and commitments that trap you. Gradually reduce time and energy spent on draining obligations. Small moves keep the mud from hardening around your life. Start each morning with a 5-minute action toward a personal goal. A single email, a quiet stretch, a short journal line. Tiny forward motion keeps your feet from sinking. Asir's line reminds us that staying free isn't about a dramatic escape. It's about noticing where the ground gets soft and refusing to let it swallow us. Remember, steering clear from the mud isn't about running away from life. It's about walking your own path with purpose and choosing movement over stagnation. Asir wrote, "No rose-red vision makes my heart beat sweet." Asir gives us a single vivid image, a rose-red vision. Roses dazzle at first glance. Lush color, intoxicating scent, but they wither quickly and their thorns can cut. Here the rose is every fleeting temptation, the romance that feels magical on day one, the glittering career move that seems to promise instant prestige, the shiny lifestyle we imagine will finally complete us. The poet is saying, I'm no longer ruled by the rush of the appearances. True maturity is the ability to see past the surface. Clarity isn't coldness, it's freedom from being hijacked by every beautiful distraction. Remember the early thrill of a new relationship? The late-night texts and the can't-eat excitement? Months later, the mystery fades and you see the real person, flaws and all. That a steady heartbeat isn't a failure. It's either the start of a genuine connection or the moment you realize this bond was just a sparkle. Maybe you chased a job because the title sounded impressive or the office looked Instagram ready. 6 months in, you discover it clashes with your values or drains your energy. Glamour was a rose, the reality is a thorn. Sometimes we idolize friends, mentors, or even family members until repeated letdowns force us to see them as human, not heroic. We fall for quick fixes, trendy diets, flashy self-help hacks, until we realize that real growth is slower and less photogenic. So why do we keep falling for fleeting attractions, chasing the shiny and the new? Part of it is simply human nature. Our brains are wired for novelty and instant reward. That initial thrill of something new releases a rush of dopamine that feels irresistible. Layer onto that the pressure of social comparison and the constant FOMO or fear of missing out, and suddenly we feel compelled to act before we think. We idealize people, careers, and experiences, turning them into something larger and more perfect than they really are. The cost of this chase is higher than most of us realize. Emotional exhaustion builds quietly as we run after illusions that fade as quickly as they appear. Impulsive choices and poor decision-making may follow, leaving us with regrets that weren't a part of the original plan. Every distraction saps our energy and attention from what truly matters: our long-term goals, meaningful relationships, and the steady work of personal growth. Before we know it, the very things that we were chasing have pulled us away from the life we wanted. The good news is there are some ways to step off the carousel of fleeting attractions and make choices that truly serve you. Start with a simple pause. Before diving into a new project, relationship, or impulse purchase, ask yourself, does this really matter to me, or am I just chasing something shiny? Next, protect your focus by limiting exposure to temptation. That might mean reducing mindless scrolling through social media, unsubscribing from feeds that trigger envy, or avoiding situations that spark unnecessary comparison. And perhaps most importantly, anchor yourself in your core values. When you make decisions based on what truly matters to you, your personal priorities, your growth, your well-being, the fleeting distractions lose their power. Over time, these small intentional steps help you see clearly, conserve your energy, and invest your heart in the things that truly deserve it. When we learn to see through the rose-red illusions, our hearts are no longer at the mercy of every shiny temptation. Clarity frees us to invest in what truly matters: relationships, work, and passions that endure. Do you see yourself in these lessons? Don't forget to like the video if it resonates with you. Now, without hesitation, let's move to the next insight. Asir wrote, "My heart paid dearly for idols it adored." Asir's words cut deep. He isn't talking about stone statues. His idols are anything we elevate so high that we sacrifice our well-being to keep them shining. False idols are the things we treat as ultimate. A job title, a perfect image, someone else's approval, even a relationship we know is hollow. They lure us with the promise of worth, but they demand a price: our time, peace, and sometimes our integrity. Imagine staying late at work night after night, chasing your boss's praise or that next promotion. Each evening you tell yourself it's worth it, but meanwhile your children are growing in silence without you, missing your presence, guidance, and stories. By the time you notice, the moments are gone, replaced by a quiet sense of regret. Or think about chasing a glamorous relationship, one that looks perfect on Instagram photos. To the outside world, it sparkles, but behind the filters, it leaves you anxious, unseen, and constantly striving to maintain an image rather than feeling truly connected. Consider the endless cycle of buying the new big thing: a designer jacket, a new phone, a trend everyone's talking about, because it sparks a fleeting sense of importance and belonging. The moment passes and the craving returns, leaving your heart restless and your satisfaction short-lived. Why do we give so much of our hearts to false idols, even when they leave us drained? The reasons are usually deeper than we realize. Every human craves to feel seen and valued, but when this natural need goes unchecked, it can turn into dependence on external applause. Likes, compliments, promotions, or recognitions. Suddenly, our sense of worth is no longer ours. It's measured by someone else's approval. In the age of social media and high-pressure workplaces, we're constantly fed the narrative that we are not enough. We compare ourselves to curated images, highlight reels, or colleagues' achievements. That subtle pressure pushes us to chase outward success or perfection, mistaking appearance for substance. Facing our inner world, the quiet, the uncertainty, the moments of self-reflection can feel intimidating. Clinging to something impressive, flashy, or externally validated becomes a shield, a way to avoid confronting questions like, who am I without this validation? What if I am enough as I am? Often idol worship starts small, a praise here, a reward there, but gradually turns into a habit. Over time, the heart automatically invests energy in what seems appealing rather than what truly nourishes it. From an early age, many of us are taught to chase achievements, external beauty, and approval. These lessons create invisible scripts that reinforce false idols, even when we sense they cost us more than they give. Together, these triggers create a perfect storm. Our attention, energy, and heart are attracted to things that promise fulfillment but leave us hollow. The cost of worshipping false idols is greater than we realize. It quietly seeps into every part of our life. Relationships suffer because your attention is divided. You may show up physically at dinner, social events, or work, but your mind and heart are elsewhere, chasing perfection, approval, or promotion. Loved ones feel the absence, even if unspoken, leaving the bonds fragile and unfulfilling. Constant striving for an idol drains body and mind. Sleeplessness, fatigue, and tension become the norm. You push yourself harder, chasing a fleeting sense of success or recognition, only to find yourself emptier each time. When the idol falters, your sense of value crumbles. Your identity becomes entangled with something external, leaving you feel lost, anxious, and worthless. False idols promise satisfaction but deliver emotional debt. Now, what can we do to avoid being attracted to the false idols and worshipping them? Start by identifying exactly what you've been worshipping, what seems too defining and too important and necessary. Write it down, whatever it is, whether it is a perfect partner, work, opportunity, anything that feels necessary to be chased. Putting it on paper makes it real. Now you can name it, see it, and control it instead of letting that control you. Train your brain to value internal satisfaction instead of external applause. Track moments of honesty, kindness, and small progress, the small wins that no one else may see. Celebrate them internally. Over time, your heart learns that true satisfaction comes from within, not from the outside world. Release what doesn't serve your soul and guide your heart, and you will discover a life rich in true connection and real joy. Thanks for joining me with Asir's wisdom today. Until our next video, stay wise and stay well.